Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
That's your business. If you hadn't framed others, why would your man be in lockup? He's taking the blame for you. This is the sacrifice you have to make. What does it have to do with us? Well, aren't you simply heartless and malicious? You wanted to kill two birds with one stone, so now you're saying I shot myself in the foot. Isn't that the truth? Why you? Damien and Dylan's argument slowly heated up. They even seemed like they were going to start fighting physically the next second. Mr. Riddle Sr.'s expression turned gloomy, and he could not endure it any longer. Shut up. Am I invisible to you? The living room was instantly silent. Only Damien and Dylan's rapid breathing could be heard from the early quarrel. Mr. Riddle Sr. glanced at them with displeasure, thinking, they're both simply unfilial bastards. They said they wanted me to administer justice, but both were clearly at fault. What did they want me to do? Punish them each by slapping them 80 times. Calm down, Dad. Your health comes first, Daniel worriedly advised after looking at Mr. Riddle Sr.'s increasingly pale face. Dexter also chimed in, Dad, what's done is done. Let's see if there is any way to solve this. They could not just leave the two people to continue arguing. Grandpa, I think this matter should end here. In fact, I think it's meaningless to continue the discussion, Nicole proposed in a low tone. She felt that the uproar had gotten out of hand after having witnessed enough of it. She didn't want to listen to their disagreement. She wanted to go home and be with her two cuties. No way. Dylan was the first to object. How could they just forget about it? Nicole raised her eyebrows. What else do you want? Dylan was caught off guard by Nicole's question. He could not possibly say what he wanted out loud. That's right. Are you going to drag other people down with your fabricated evidence? Damien took the chance to taunt Dylan. Dylan's expression once again turned gloomy. Gritting his teeth, he stared at Damien with hate. You were the one who gave me this evidence. Damien sneered and hummed at him. So what if I did it? Dylan has no evidence against me. His speech alone was not enough to pose a threat to me. Listen to Nicole. This ends now. Leave, I'm tired, Mr. Riddle Sr. ordered. His head hurts from all their arguments, feeling mentally exhausted. Dad. Dylan almost jumped up in agitation. He could not believe things would end so rashly. Did no one even care about him? Mr. Riddle Sr. waved his hands, signaling Dylan to stop his nonsense. He really did not want to hear anything from him now. Dylan suddenly came home today, claiming to have something important to discuss with everyone. He even insisted all his brothers be present. So Mr. Riddle Sr. called them all back. After some thought, Mr. Riddle Sr. also took the initiative to call Nicole back. Though, he never expected Dylan to discuss this matter. Mr. Riddle Sr. initially thought Dylan was the victim. Turned out, Nicole was the only victim in this situation, where his two eldest sons were all ill-intentioned. Not wanting to hear their nonsense, Mr. Riddle Sr. directly instructed, Alfred, get them out of here. Mr. Riddle Sr.'s order was almost equivalent to kicking them out. Dylan's face turned purple with rage, feeling suffocated. Dad, take care. I'll leave first. Damien was the first to bid farewell. At this point, it was pointless to stay back. Only Dylan, the fool, would continue to pester here. After Damien left, Dexter also stood up. Dad, if there's nothing left, I'll head back too. All right. Mr. Riddle Sr. raised his head to look at his third son. Daniel wanted to leave, but Nicole shook her head toward him. So Daniel sat back down again. In the end, Dylan had no choice but to leave reluctantly. After everyone was gone, Nicole advised Mr. Riddle Sr. with a smooth tone. Grandpa, you should really leave this matter alone. How can I not worry? They think they're clever clogs and try to deceive others like fools. Mr. Riddle Sr. was in a horrible mood. Two of his disappointing sons added up were not even as clear-headed as his granddaughter. Mr. Riddle Sr. knew very well that they were intrigued with each other, and tricking Nicole, his precious granddaughter. This knowledge made him so furious that he wanted to kick them out of the house. "Grandpa, don't worry. No matter what they do, I'm not a fool," Nicole said with a pouty look, comforting Mr. Riddle Sr. The older man was originally in an irritating mood, but Nicole's words uplifted him. "Dad, are you really going to let them go for this matter?" Daniel asked tentatively. Deep down, he was rather furious by his brother's actions, but he was even more distressed for Nicole. Mr. Riddle Sr. chuckled. "Your decision to retire was a correct choice." "What?" Daniel did not expect his father to blurt out this sentence. What did he mean? What has this matter got to do with my retirement? Daniel thought. Let Nicole explain. Mr. Riddle Sr. sighed helplessly. Daniel was too kind-hearted, and his personality doesn't suit the business industry. Daniel still looked confused, but Mr. Riddle Sr. stood up and said, "Come, eat dinner with me." "All right," Nicole agreed. She stood up and helped Mr. Riddle Sr. to the dining room. Shaking his head with a chuckle, Daniel followed them. The family had a simple dinner. During the dinner, no one mentioned Damien and Dylan, only casually chit-chatting about the matters of the headquarters. "Well, what do you know? We needed you to manage Riddle Corporation after all." Mr. Riddle Sr. nodded in satisfaction. "Grandpa, Sean's doing a great job too." Nicole smiled with a bright face. Mr. Riddle Sr. was stunned and soon understood Nicole's meaning. He could not help but tease her. "You cheeky girl. Are you planning to slack off?" "I could assist Sean," Nicole said naturally. Seeing that Nicole had made up her mind, Mr. Riddle Sr. pondered before saying, "Sean is indeed suitable." In Mr. Riddle Sr.'s heart, his best candidate was no doubt Nicole. Yet, if Nicole did not want to inherit the Riddle family, Sean would be the strongest and most capable person to take charge among others. "Don't worry, Grandpa. You once said you would give the inheritance to the one who is most capable." "Sean naturally got it with his skills," Nicole said, her eyes full of confidence. They had to make it evident that it was based on merit and allow others to embrace it voluntarily since they could not leave their opponents with an excuse. Strength and capability were the sole acceptable qualification for achieving it. "Sean does have the capability, but..." Mr. Riddle Sr. paused and said hesitantly, "You already made such a decision to step off the position, so why did you leave everyone else to misunderstand you?" If Nicole clearly stated that she was not interested in the inheritance, the others would definitely not find any trouble for her. Nicole shrugged indifferently. "It's the same. Are you saying I should stay out of it by shifting the attention to Sean?" "I won't. No matter who it was among us, or who would continue the family name. We would help each other in time of need instead of going against each other. But then again, having to fool everyone wasn't a nice move, as I'm not exactly the most favored by everyone here. Realizing how Sean came out to help me, the chances of winning are now higher than ever." To Nicole, the Riddle family could live up to their names due to her and her brothers. Other than that, she could not envision what the Riddle family would turn out to be if it were to fall into the hands of others. Mr. Riddle Sr. looked at Nicole in satisfaction, with a hint of regret in his eyes. Only someone like her could pass down the family name. This is a blessing to our family. It's a shame she doesn't see the glory in it. "Dad, since the kids are still young and you're still in tip-top shape, it's still too early to put things into perspective. We can discuss this in the future." Daniel comforted Mr. Riddle Sr. Everyone in the room understood that Nicole was his favorite, but they also knew that Nicole was unwilling to bear all these burdens of responsibilities, and wanted to live her life as she wishes to. "Whether it's now or later, it's not up for you to decide." Mr. Riddle Sr. sighed helplessly, oblivious to the others who had already initiated their plots. Mr. Riddle Sr. turned to glance at Nicole, his face filled with some unsaid worry. Nicole looked at Mr. Riddle Sr. with a calm look. "Don't worry, Grandpa, I can protect myself well enough. Also, I have so many people taking care of me." Nicole was not afraid of anything. The attention of her uncles had entirely shifted to her, which brought out a stronger advantage. For Nicole. She wanted to see the reactions of her uncles when they heard that Sean would inherit the family business. Jared can protect you too, said Mr. Riddle Sr. Nicole was already used to people mentioning Jared's name around her, so it was natural for Mr. Riddle Sr. to mention his too. The corners of Nicole's lips twitched. I meant to say the brothers of mine. But something tells me that I should keep my mouth shut, and it isn't something to be easily explained. Otherwise, another round of misunderstandings could happen again. Nicole had not announced her memory loss to the world. Only her family knew about it, so in the public eye, both Jared and her were still the loving couple they had come to know of. Only Nicole herself was aware of the reality of things behind closed doors. Dad, it's getting late. We're going to head back now. You should rest. Daniel could not wait to get out of there, eager to set things straight with Nicole. Mr. Riddle Sr. immediately understood Daniel and watched as they left. It's fortunate that there's one with brains, said Mr. Riddle Sr. with a smile. Mr. Riddle Sr., it's obvious that Ms. Riddle's capable of handling the company. Alfred's voice echoed. Especially since she has the fire crest, her competence is certainly unmatched by others. Mr. Riddle Sr. went upstairs to rest with a peace of mind. Meanwhile, Daniel and Nicole left in a car together. Nicole, what happened to your uncles? What did your grandpa mean? Daniel asked, not able to withstand his curiosity. Nicole confessed, what Grandpa meant was to ignore this issue. Since both Damien and Dylan had already ruined their own reputations, they won't stop doing so. I'll only stop if they stop. Daniel heard Nicole's explanation and immediately understood the situation. And just like that, the matter was pushed behind the back of their minds, where neither of them had the need to bring it back up. Daniel thought, Damien and Dylan both should know the weight and cost of their actions. I was beginning to wonder why Grandpa said retiring was a good idea, said Daniel in a sigh of relief. In their minds, Nicole was a more suitable fit to run the company more than anyone else in the family. I'm not saying that I'm incompetent, but sometimes, your dad here is a little too soft-hearted. When a person is too kind-hearted, it becomes a weakness where other people can easily manipulate and step over. Meanwhile, Damien had returned to his residence. Damien had received a call earlier from Mr. Riddle Sr., which gave him the idea that his grandpa knew something regarding the matter. Everett saw his father had returned and said, Dad, why did Grandpa call us over? Is there something going on? It wasn't Grandpa. It was your Uncle Dylan. Damien's face turned dark when he mentioned Dylan's name. Everett was confused. Uncle Dylan? Damien was fuming. His eyes turned darker as he talked about Dylan's problems. He was caught red-handed. Dylan had completed everything cautiously. Nobody even knew what he was up to. Even Damien was unable to lay his hands on Nicole. So, the matter now appears to be not as easy as it seems, though Damien had not done anything. I only know what's happening. I saw him take out the so-called evidence. I don't know if he had obtained it illegally or not. So, for as long as we don't admit to it, it has nothing to do with us. Damien snorted. Dad, why do I feel like this is a bit weird? Everett frowned involuntarily. His eyes gradually became darker. What do you mean? Damien asked, immediately becoming wary. I can't put it. I just feel a little strange about this. I'll have someone to check regarding this matter. You have to be careful about this. Your uncle could be keeping tabs on you, Damien told his son. Damien thought, I think Dylan might have caught on to something. Otherwise, how would he have noticed Everett's movements? Think we should be more cautious in making moves in the future. Everett agreed. I know. Ever since this matter, our family and Uncle Dylan's family have been under fire. I wonder what everyone's thinking about right now. I wonder if we all know what the other person is already thinking of, yet we're being more cautious of each other. Our original plans of killing two birds with one stone went down the drain. Nicole ended up unscathed and so did Dylan, but I ended up being the target of the public. The more I think, the odder it is now that the direction of the plan has been redirected. Dylan's eyes darkened as he thought about it. At the Riddle residence, both Nicole and her father had arrived home. The members of the Riddle family were waiting for them. In the living room, Nicole noticed that Jared, Nolan, and Lana were not present. They must be upstairs. They're back. Gloria breathed out a sigh of relief when she saw Nicole and Daniel walk in. Grandpa asked us to stay over for dinner, so that's why we're late today, explained Nicole, as both Nicole and her father took a seat on the sofa. How was it? Samuel asked, looking at Nicole worriedly. It's no biggie. There's nothing for you to worry about anymore, said Daniel as he took a good look at his sons. Dad, we're also worried about Nicole, Spencer said helplessly. However, the Riddle brothers turned out to be worried over nothing after they found out everything was fine. It's nothing. It's regarding your Uncle Damien and Dylan. Both Dad and I just went over to have dinner with Grandpa, Nicole explained to her whole family, to reassure them. Nicole felt that it would be better to leave out the important parts, just so everyone could have a peace of mind and save herself from all the complicated explanations. Oh, that's a relief. Thank goodness it was nothing serious. A few of them let out a sigh of relief, all thinking the same thing. As long as Nicole is okay, nothing else matters. It's late now. Let's all go to bed, announced Daniel as he looked at Gloria, ushering her to go with him. Let's go. Okay. Gloria followed her husband upstairs. Once their parents had left, Stanley turned to look at Nicole to confirm that there was nothing seriously wrong with Nicole before speaking up. Okay, let's go too. Soon everyone had made their way up the stairs and into their respective rooms. Nicole went over to Nolan's room and saw that he was busy on his computer while Jared was playing with Lana with her Barbie dolls. Being such a cold guy himself and seeing him like this, helping Lana choose a hairpin for her Barbie doll that were no bigger than his fingertips, Nicole thought to herself as she watched the Barbie dolls being placed in her palm, which gave her a sentimental feeling. Daddy, I want the pink one, Lana said in a cute voice. Jared obediently handed a pink hairpin over to Lana, not withdrawing his caring look away from Lana dressing up her Barbie doll. It was an unusual sight. A smile flashed before Nicole's eyes. Mommy. Nolan called out, being the first to notice Nicole's presence, before reaching out to turn off his computer and walked toward Nicole. Nicole rubbed Nolan's head before smiling. Are you doing your missions? No, I was just browsing. Nolan looked up and said proudly, my rank has improved a lot. Nicole looked at Nolan adoringly. Okay, I know. I believe you'll soon surpass me. I'll work harder. Nolan vigorously nodded his head, looking determined. Mommy, I also want to be like Nolan. I want to catch up to Mommy too, said Lana as she walked over. All right, both of you can work hard and make both Mommy and Daddy proud. Nicole smiled happily while thinking, these two are one of the greatest gifts life has ever given me. Jared soon came over to see Nicole with their two children. He also could not help but feel blessed to have all of them gathered, safe and sound. Mommy, I'm tired, said Lana in a tired voice as she rubbed her eyes. Let's get you in bed. Jared picked up Lana in his arms and brought her to her room. Nicole looked down at Nolan and Nolan understood immediately. I'm going to sleep too. Good night, Mommy. Nicole helped to tuck Nolan into bed, waiting for him to fall asleep. Once Nolan was asleep, Nicole turned off the lights before she left the room. Coincidentally, Lana had also fallen asleep at the same time. Both Jared and Nicole came out of their rooms at the same time. They looked at each other. Nicole smiled unconsciously. Jared walked over and held Nicole's hand. Let's get some rest. The kids have a parent-child sports day tomorrow. You promised you'd go. Yeah, I know. Nicole did not forget her promise with the twins. She did not want to disappoint them. Soon, they arrived at the door of their bedroom, and Nicole suddenly stopped in her tracks. Jared turned to look at her and smirked. Without hesitation, he pulled her into the room. Nicole was still nervous about the incident yesterday. Jared, on the other hand, did not expect for the scene to go out of control, making a mental note to keep things in control the next time. I keep forgetting that she has no recollection of what we were before. I can't be too hasty and scare her, thought Jared. After entering the room, Jared reassured Nicole. Don't worry. I will try my best to control myself this time, said Jared with a hint of tease in his voice. Nicole was rendered speechless by his antics. Did he do this on purpose? Is this how he comforts others? Jared looked at Nicole with feigned innocence, before reaching out to smoothen her hair. Let's get some rest. Appalled, Nicole widened her eyes at him. Why do I feel like he's saying this on purpose with some hidden intention underneath? Nicole walked over to the bed alone, deep in thought, and brushing Jared's words away without any feelings of unease. She laid down to sleep, but that was when Jared stretched his long arms out and pulled Nicole into his embrace. Just like that, the both of them laid there without moving. Nicole then tried to wriggle out of his grasp, but before long, she succumbed to his grip. It was not long until she gave up and fell asleep. Hearing her faint snores, Jared opened his eyes and stared at her face, after which a smile crossed his face. The next morning, the sun rose, casting the sky in a golden hue. Mommy. Daddy. The twins invaded Nicole and Jared's room. They had woken up much earlier than the adults. Nicole mumbled as she heard her kids rushing into the room. And when she opened her eyes, she saw them. Mommy, wake up. Today's sports day for parents and kids. It's still too early. Nicole patted Nolan's head. Dumbfounded, he turned to look at Jared, and that was when he saw that his father was already up and hugging Lana. Daddy, come on, we have to go, Lana demanded. Jared smiled and agreed. Okay, let's go have our breakfast, and after that we can leave. Yay, Lana cheered. After that, Nicole sat up and told both her kids, you guys can go down, I'll be right there with you in a sec. Okay. The two kids nodded in unison and ran out happily. A smile appeared on Nicole's face as she saw the excitement of the twins. Nicole slowly got up and got ready with Jared. Soon after, they went downstairs clad in sports attire, one entirely in black and another entirely in white. Whoa, Daddy's so handsome. And Mommy looks pretty. Lana cheered and clapped her hands like a seal, unable to take her eyes off her parents' attire. Nicole, however, was unsure of what to feel. Hurry up and eat your breakfast. Okay, Lana said, and quickly dug into her food. Once breakfast was over, Gloria handed a lunch bag to Nicole and said, I've prepared some food for the kids. There are fruits and other things in it. Thanks, Mom. Nicole beamed and accepted it from Gloria. The family of 4 soon left and headed over to the kindergarten. As they were approaching the kindergarten, Nicole noticed that the car had made a U-turn and gone off in the opposite direction. Nicole turned to look at Jared in confusion. Where are we going? The back, Jared replied calmly. Nicole then realized that if they were to enter through the back entrance, they would not have to be separated. Come on, let's go. Jared scanned the area, noticing that there were few people around. The 4 of them strolled through the campus before arriving at the track and field area. Tiny stools were already set up on the field. Some children had already arrived with their parents, while some were still looking for seats. Meanwhile, the teachers had already made themselves present, and were welcoming all of the parents, finalizing the preparation phase of the event. Lana. Nolan. Nicole was searching for seats for herself and the kids when she heard someone calling out for them. Naturally, they turned around. Upon seeing who that person was, Lana immediately smiled and waved. Nona. Nona came over quickly to their side when she noticed Nicole and Jared. She respectfully greeted, Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Johnston. Hello, Nicole replied with a smile. Mrs. Johnston? Can Lana and Nolan come play with me and the others? Nona asked cautiously. Hearing that, Nicole enthusiastically agreed, Of course you can. Kids should be allowed to play. Nolan and Lana in particular should make more friends, Nicole thought. As the kids went to join their friends, Nicole and Jared found a seat and sat down, watching the kids from afar. Mr. Johnston, there's someone at the main gate asking to meet you. It seems quite urgent. One of the teachers in charge of welcoming parents came over and informed in a low voice. Jared frowned and raised his eyebrows as he looked toward the direction of the main gate. There, he noticed that the person in question was Iris, who was holding a piece of document in her hand with an anxious look on her face. "Let her in," Jared softly said to the teacher.
"All right."
The teacher then left, and not long after, Iris came over to Jared and stammered, "I apologize for this, Mr. Johnston, but this document is quite urgently needed." Jared snatched the document from Iris's hands. He quickly opened it up, scanned the details, and signed it in rapid succession. In no time, the document was returned to Iris, whose heart sank, knowing that her time was up, as she would have to go back to the office there and then.
"I'm not jealous.
Whatever you do out there has nothing to do with me." Nicole looked away, not wanting to admit to Jared that she was uncomfortable with what just happened. Instead, Jared adoringly flashed Nicole a smile and said, "All right. But even though our Mrs. Johnston here isn't jealous, I still have to tell you about it."
"Don't call me Mrs. Johnston."
Nicole's cheeks flushed and burned as Jared addressed her as Mrs. Johnston.
"Mommy."
The kids returned, as the event was about to begin. With everyone seated, the sports day event was about to start. It was the first ever sports day event that Nolan and Lana had participated in, with both of their parents in attendance. As such, they were more than eager to participate in all the games and events. Meanwhile, Iris, who was standing outside the kindergarten, was spectating the sports day event. She was experiencing the shock of her lifetime when she noticed that Jared was participating in the occasion instead of coming into the office. "I've been by his side for so long, yet I've never even once heard about Jared joining kindergarten events," Iris thought to herself. And the harder into the rabbit hole she dove into, the weirder it felt. The document she had brought with her was an excuse with which to sate her curiosity once and for all, as he had been feeling all giddy on the inside. However, what she did not expect was that Nicole would be here today.
"So, this is the woman Mr. Johnston has chosen to marry?
Why did he choose a woman with children already? What's so good about this woman?" she wondered. Iris continued standing outside the kindergarten, staring at Jared and Nicole with their 2 children, the resentment in her heart growing with each passing second. Never before had she ever witnessed the tenderness and look of affection on Jared's face. The barrage of information was too much for Iris to stomach, and as a result, she became restless as though she was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. "Miss Brown, weren't you in a hurry with the document earlier?" Max's voice blared out, shattering her train of thoughts. Iris returned to her senses at once, the growing sense of panic in her eyes vanishing. With a smile, she turned around and regained her composure.
"I'm about to head back to the company. Do you have any arrangements?"
"No," Max replied calmly. "Anyway, here is a gentle reminder that Mr. Johnston would not have the time for matters like these in the future. Instead, you may approach me directly if there's ever a need for it." Iris' smile vanished before she boldly replied, "Okay, I'll keep that in mind next time." Max's words had once again caught her off guard. Mr. Johnston has always been too busy, but now he's accompanying other people's children? It seems that they're more important than work. The Jared Johnston I knew would never act like this. Is it because I've never figured out what Mr. Johnston was really like? Or is this Nicole person so talented that he just couldn't resist her?
"No, I can't let them go on like this."
Max scrutinized Iris and frowned, not understanding the strange behavior of hers. She would not be as short-tempered as this, usually. Without thinking too much into the context of the issue, he watched as Iris got into her car and left. Then, he too entered the kindergarten shortly after. Soon, it was lunchtime, and the sun was glaring down at them. Just like that, sports day was over, and both Nicole and Jared were already bringing the twins home. On the ride home, Nicole looked at Nolan's and Lana's, which had been flushed red. She reached over to help wipe the sweat off their faces with a ply of tissue.
"Look at you guys.
You're all sweaty," Nicole remarked with a smile.
"It was fun."
Lana wrapped her arms around Jared's arm. Then, she cutely pleaded, "Daddy, will you come with me to events next time?"
"Sure."
Jared responded dotingly.
"Daddy is the best."
Lana cheered as she threw herself into Jared's arms and planted a kiss on his cheek. Jared and Nicole were both stunned by Lana's actions, whereupon they broke out into smiles. Then, Jared's eyes softened as he embraced Lana in his arms. "I will make up for the past 5 years of their lives. I will be there whenever they need me," he thought. Lana rested against Jared's arms, grinning contentedly. Lana loved having both her parents join school events with her. That way, she would not feel lonely anymore, and none of the other kids would ask her things like, "Why isn't your father here? Do you not have a father?" After taking the children back home, Jared and Nicole prepared themselves to head to their office. "Bad news, Mr. Johnston," Max said while they were on the road. "Pictures of you, Mrs. Johnston, and the kids in the event were posted online. It went viral almost instantly, and more people are clicking on the post with each passing second." "How?" Nicole's face blanched. "The kids cannot be exposed. They'll be in danger. Shut it all down." Jared's gaze turned cold. "I've sent people to take care of it, but a lot of people have stumbled upon those pictures already. I'm worried that more people might find out about you," Max said in concern. After all, both Jared and Nicole wanted to keep the identities of their children a secret. Now that it had been exposed and had gotten viral, people who had ill intentions toward Nicole and Jared, especially since the Riddle family had been plagued with endless infighting for a while, now might seize this opportunity to give them hell. The air in the car was tense, and everyone was stressed out. "No, we should clear this up publicly." Nicole frowned, her tone low and icy. People would naturally be making wild assumptions the instant they saw the pictures, but if Nicole and Jared were to shut the post down without offering any explanations, it might only fuel the public's suspicions. Jared looked at her. "What do you have in mind?" Nicole drew a deep breath and said through gritted teeth, "We can only say that we're about to sponsor the preschools, and that we've been invited to join the event today." "Good idea," Max said. "That way, the public will not gossip about this anymore." Jared frowned when he heard this. He knew what Nicole was trying to do, but he still asked, "Are you sure?" "Yeah." Nicole nodded. She was well aware that she had to be more careful with Nolan and Lana after this incident. She would even have to avoid showing up with them in public, so no one could take pictures of them together anymore. "What are you going to do with Lana and Nolan?" Jared asked softly when he knew that Nicole had already made her decision. Since they could not take Nolan and Lana to and from school now, they had to get someone reliable and trustworthy enough to do it for them. Otherwise, they would be worried. Nicole paused before saying, "It's probably not okay to get my parents to do it. If they ever get seen with the kids, more gossip will follow. As for the others." However, Nicole did not have anyone in mind for now, so she continued, "I'll think about it. About the explanation though, I think we should do it personally." "Sure." Jared nodded as he thought that this was the best way to resolve the issue. He then turned to Max and ordered, "Have it arranged." "Yes." "Don't worry, Mr. Johnston," Max replied respectfully. "Also, don't forget to investigate the reason behind this entire ordeal." Jared's eyes became frosty. He had already ordered Max to take care of this event, so there were few people who did know about him attending the event. Thus, it puzzled him as to who had taken those pictures. "Of course." Max's gaze darkened. "This entire thing does seem suspicious." Able to see the headquarters of the Riddle Corporation when the car halted, Nicole got down from the car. She watched as Jared left and made a turn for the office before walking in with a stern look on her face. "What happened, Nicole?" Lulu was concerned as she sensed that Nicole was upset. "Nothing." Nicole forced out a smile and acted like nothing had happened. Still, Lulu felt bad for her. "Nothing? You're stressed out about the news, huh? Ignore the comments. Besides, I couldn't find those pictures anymore." Nicole had just returned to San Joto, but people had already started speaking ill about her and Jared. Therefore, it was only natural for her to be upset. "Nah, I'm just a little tired. That issue is going to be resolved very soon anyway," Nicole explained, not wanting Lulu to be upset as well. It was then that Lulu became curious. But why did you and Mr. Johnston go to that preschool? She had already found it strange when she saw the news. She would have already believed the news if she was not Nicole's friend. We were actually going to sponsor some teaching supplies to that school, and it just so happened that they had an event today. So they invited us. I found the kids rather cute, so I just played with them, Nicole briefly explained, having agreed upon this with Jared. Although Lulu was not an outsider, she did not tell her as they were still in the office. I'll just wait for the banquet. Lulu and June will be there, so I'll tell them then. There's nothing serious about it anyway. It's not illegal to go to preschools. In fact, I think this news is really weird. It's like the perpetrator was targeting you and the kids. They were even saying things like you're a single mother. I think they were just trying to say that you don't go well with Mr. Johnston. Lulu poked her tongue out with disdain. This paparazzi is probably an idiot. You and Mr. Johnston are legally married. How could you be incompatible? She continued. In her opinion, no couple complimented each other the way Nicole and Jared did. Upon hearing what Lulu had said, Nicole squinted her eyes. Iris came to the event today. With Jared's degree of competency, it was impossible for this piece of news to spread to the public if he had made the necessary arrangements. Thus, it made little sense as to how the pictures had been taken and disseminated online at such a pace. That thought flashed in her head as her eyes turned cold. If it really is Iris, Jared will probably take care of it. In the evening, Jared picked Nicole up and headed home. As they were on the way, Nicole leaned her back against the seat and frowned. You found out what happened? It was pretty straightforward, Jared responded coldly, his gaze chilling. What are you going to do about it? Nicole smirked. Turns out, it really is Iris's doing. I wonder what Jared is planning to do. She has already left the company. Jared's eyes glinted with iciness. He would never allow someone of such character to stay in his company. Nicole shrugged, seemingly very satisfied with the way he had handled it. I'm glad you don't miss her. This prompted Jared to bow his head and look at her. Why would I miss her? He asked, intrigued.
Please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.